Alright, and that's going to be an array, and we'll have class ID. Alright, so type is going to be an object ID, so we need to say mongoose dot schema dot types dot object ID. Actually, let me put this on one line. Okay, and then we'll also have a class name or class title. And that's just going to be a string. Alright, and we can take this and copy it. Okay, save this file, and I'm going to paste this in students. Save it. Alright, so now we have to take care of the sign up, the post request. So we want to open up routes users. Alright, and we want to make sure that we require passport. So we want passport and also local strategy. Alright, and next we need all of the models, the user, student, and instructor. So I'm going to include those. Alright, now the post. So for this we're going to say router.post. And this is going to go to, users slash sign up, and we want a function. Okay, the function is going to take request, response, and next. Alright, now what we want to do is grab everything that comes in from the form and put it in a variable. Alright, so I'm going to just paste that in. Okay, so we have first name, last name, address, email, username, password, and we have type. Okay, so type is going to be whether it's a student or an instructor. The next thing we're going to do is the form validation. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in. Okay, nothing fancy. We're just making sure that some of these fields are filled in, like first name, last name, email, and then we have some email validation, and then we have password should match the password to field. Alright, now we need to check for these errors, so I'm just going to paste this in. Okay, we're just setting it to request validation errors, and then we need to check. We need to check for errors. Okay, and then we'll have an else. And basically, if there are errors, then we're just going to re-render the form, and we're going to pass everything to it, including the errors. Alright, now we'll go to, oops, I'm sorry, that should go here, if there are errors. Now else, what we need to do is obviously sign the user up. Before we do anything here, we need to set up the sign up method in the user model. Alright, now we're going to have two different functions. We're going to have one to save a student and one to save an instructor. Alright, because they're going in different collections. So let's say save student. Alright, so we'll do module dot exports dot save student is equal to function, and let's see what this is going to take. This is going to take a new user object, it's going to take a new student object, and a callback. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to implement bcrypt and encryption on our passwords. So up here, let's say variable bcrypt is going to be equal to require bcrypt.js, and go down to the password field here, and we'll say bcrypt true. All right, so that'll encrypt the password. Now down in the save function, we need to make it so the password is saved as a hash. So right here we're going to say bcrypt.hash. All right, we need to pass in what we want to hash, and that's going to be new user dot password. All right, and then the number of characters, we'll say 10, and then callback function. All right, and that function can take the error and hash. All right, so now we're going to say if there is an error, then just throw error. And let's go ahead and set hash. Okay, so we'll say new user dot password is equal to the hash. All right, and then we'll just say console.log. Let's say student is being saved. Okay, and then down below here, now we need to insert into two different collections, user and student. So we need to use a module called async. So what you want to do is go, whoops, no, that's not what I want. We want to say npm install async save. All right, now we just want to go to app.js, and you want to just require that and save. All right, so now we'll go back to the student model, the user model, and we're going to run async dot parallel, parallel, and then we pass in an array, and it's going to be the save function. So new user dot save, and also new student dot save, and then we'll have a callback. Okay, so what that's doing is it's updating both the user and the student collection in one method or one query. So that looks good. Now the save instructor is going to be extremely similar. So we're just going to basically change all the students to instructor. Oops. So save instructor, and let's see, we want to change this. We'll say instructors being saved, and change this. And that should be good. Alright, so now let's go back to users. Now we have to check which type of person this is. Is it an instructor or a student? And that comes from that variable. So we'll say if, let's say if type is equal to, is it an uppercase? If type is equal to what? Student. Okay, so student or instructor. Where am I? Okay, if type equals student, and then we'll say else. So we should be able to say user. Yeah, user dot save student. All right, and we're going to pass in new user Oh, we need to create those first. What am I doing? Let's hold off on this for a second, and we want to go right in the else, and we're going to create a new user. Okay, so we're just creating a variable, setting it to new user, and then the fields, and we're going to do the same thing with student. Okay, so we'll go ahead and whoops. Alright, so there's new student. Now we're calling user save student, passing in new user, new student, and a function. Alright, and this is going to take error and user, and then we're simply going to console log. Okay, we'll say student created. Alright, and then for the instructor, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, we're just going to change this to new save instructor. And we're going to change this. New instructor, and we'll say instructor created. And then down here, we're just going to set a message flash. So this will be success. We'll say user added. Alright, and then we just want to redirect. Okay, so we'll redirect to the home page. Alright, so save that. So let's give this a shot, see what happens. Okay, we gotta start the server. Whoops, that's not it. Alright. So let's go to sign up free, and we'll say John Doe. Okay, 55 Main Street, Miami, Florida. Zip code, no idea. Email's fine. Username, we'll say J Doe. Password. And sign up. Okay. Undefined is not a function. Async.parallel. Okay, so for some reason the async isn't. Maybe I need to put this in. No, I don't think I shouldn't have to do that. Oh, I spelled parallel wrong. You guys probably saw that a while ago. I put the two L's in the wrong place. Alright. Again, let's go back and let's try to just submit this. Alright, so we went to the home page. Hopefully that went through. So to check, let's say users.find. Okay, there he is, J Doe. You can see the password is also encrypted. And we'll do students. Where are we? Students find. And there he is, John Doe. If we look at instructors, there's nothing there. Alright, so the one thing we need is the message, and that's just because we didn't put the message placeholder in our layout. So I'll do that. Layout. Okay, basically we want it right above the body. We also need to put our error loop in case we get the fields wrong. Okay, so basically we got messages, and then we say if there's errors, then we're going to loop through the errors and just spit them out with some div tags around them. All right, so that's that, and that's it. That's it for this section. In the next section, we'll implement the login, or not the next section, but the next part. We'll take care of the student and instructor.